We keep on giving as well. WGL Open Qualifier, round of 16, Group A, lower bracket semifinal. We got ReMinD in the race. If he's starting his comeback here, is up against the Chinese human that we don't know how his name is. So unfortunately, we have to come up with a nickname or something. So ReMinD should be considered the favorite here. In the upper bracket of this group, he will be facing either Hawk or WFZ, who are playing after this one. But yeah, we're on Echo Isles. It's Human versus Night Elf, and ReMinD is going for the Warden.
Yeah, Warden had always been a hero that ReMinD seemed to be quite fond of, and currently in the meta, she seems to be the strongest among the Night Elf choices if you do get her to decent levels, if you do get her strong in the late game. So we're a little bit late here in our first map, but we haven't missed too much yet. AM level 2, Warden level 2, Merc Camp earlier taken by ReMinD. We do have an expansion though, on the human side. So this is an instant expansion on Echo. I feel like I haven't seen this in forever. And following that up with Archmage Pressure, we have the Ancient of War getting attacked here from the human. Very nice pull off the creeps. In the meantime, the Warden at the expansion. Arcane Tower isn't done yet. And with the Fan of Knives, this could be plenty of kills for her. If she gets, what is that, 4 peasants, that's going to be level 3 for her as well. Staff on cooldown for the time being. Ancient of War is certainly going to be falling, but she's going to be reaching level 3 at least, as more archers and mercs are coming in. Quite some damage here towards the expansion, but the main base of ReMinD might be in trouble in a second as well.
He has a staff though, so he just wants one more kill for the level 3 to get more mana and the stronger Fan of Knives to be able to defend this more. But decent timing for the Chinese, who kind of stops ReMinD from going further into tier 2. It's finished yet, but no lores up. He needs experience though. Now the Warden staffs back with level 3 and right next to the Moonwells, and he's still holding on to the skill point. Nope, not anymore. Wants the kills. Shadow Strike, single target damage instead of AoE. And that is a guaranteed kill, but still no lores.
Yeah, that's a nice pickoff on the Berserker. Question now for ReMinD, second hero, yes or no? He can't go for lores really, so perhaps the best he can invest into is a second hero right now, or does he want to play this Warden solo? This lore delay is starting to become pretty noticeable. Then again, in this matchup recently, we have been seeing more and more Night Elves entirely skipping Dryads, going right away to Bears instead. Counter expansion is coming up now, by the way, which is of course pretty late. I'm not sure if the footy saw it. They were very close to it, but with the AM forced to TP back, low HP, it's going to be very tough now for the human to try to cancel this.
I just checked the vision of the Chinese, and he did not see it. I think that was the old position of the Ancient of War that is still on his radar. So lores are coming up finally. Not going for tier 3. Maybe he is now, as he was waiting for the Wisp. And the Warden. So mobile. Boots, staff. This is nice, and he comes in for a nice creep jack. Archmage is in trouble, has no TP anymore, but ReMinD not greedy at all. Only now switching the target. Shadow Priest is down. Archmage survived. I think that was a pretty easy kill, huh?
If he goes for the AM, the Shadow Priest is alive, and he heals him, and the AM can run to the shop. Unsure, but could have been perhaps, especially with there being no boots. There's still a Renegade Wizard with like a 200 HP or something. I'm surprised he didn't go for that one. But the Warden is low mana, doesn't have too many units. Warden is getting some kills, but now it's always the problem with the Warden. Mana's gone, and what do you do now? We have daytime hitting right now. The Moonjuice is looking kind of okay, but not outstanding. ReMinD is just keeping on the chase here against these footies. And it looks like the human is trying to find that expansion cancel, but the Tree of Life is about to finish. Still takes a while to go over to the expansion, though.
Okay. Warden gets some mana from the base. There was one Moonwell completely filled. So she is a threat for sure. Water Elemental Scout finally confirms it. If he takes a look at the replay, he could have seen this a lot earlier, but okay. Now he confirms it. Naga second for the Chinese.
Naga second?
Yeah.
There is Shadow Strike level 2. She doesn't have boots. There's double slow coming in. Naga is normally the choice against the demon, but against the warden,
Yeah, you see why we don't see that too often?
That's very, very strange. Maybe he thinks, okay, MK is strong, but I can't level him up. I'm under too much pressure.
No.
But isn't a level 1 MK still better than a level 1 Naga?
Yeah, I think so. Warden seems to be completely out of control by now. Gets another double kill. Thanks to the crowd control of Warden and Dryads, of course. And with that, he's kind of crawling towards level 5 already with the bonus experience you get. Tier 3 is done now as well. We have a couple of...
level 2.
Yeah, wow, wow, it's so bad. We have a couple of supporters, by the way. Thank you, Nuhiro Masuda, for the 13-month resub and a gifted sub to V-Club. Both pretty awesome dudes. PX Zap for the 11-month resub and Circ88 for the 5-month resub. Much, much appreciated. We're getting close to the 900 again.
Yeah, this is kind of what the issue can end up being for the human. If you instant expand, AM is going to be under a lot of pressure or has to pressure himself early on, and just leveling is going to be so slow. And without level 3, you really can't contest the map, especially against level 3 or 4 Warden. So I'm not sure that this build is really very viable anymore. It doesn't look that good. I mean, the expansion was fast, yes, but I feel there's sometimes a misconception going on. Like, your gold income isn't the only thing that matters. There's many resources in Warcraft. There's gold, there's lumber, there's also experience. Experience is a massive deal.
But
look at these two heroes for the human. Like, it's an AM and a Naga. These aren't the best late game carries. The Warden on the other side, if she gets to level 6, anything's doable.
that goes for a normal game, Remo. That is absolutely true. Won't speak against that. But if you take a look into the human's main base, there's double
glorious
workshop. Tanks! Oh yeah! We're starting off with an action-packed tank game. Knights, casters, paladin, and tanks. And the Warden really is not good against tanks at all.
Yeah, true. Oftentimes we see the Warden nowadays paired with a Panda, especially on maps like Terranos. Here, of course, would be hard to make work. Warden hits level 5, going for the fan level 3. Getting plenty more experience from those water elementals. I wonder, is he gonna read the tanks? Like, this caster army is surprisingly small, considering how long this expansion has been standing.
He sees the tier 3 now, thanks to the staff. Ooh, fan of knives again, but all he gets is a little bit of HP on the heroes and the footmen. Mountain giants come in. Sweet. Oh, of course, mountain giants are amazing against bears, against tanks.
I never thought about that.
Me neither.
It was your favorite unit, Neo. How could you not know? You knew that they could attack air, but didn't know about the tanks.
It was deeply hidden at the bottom of my heart that mountain giants are a great solution versus tanks.
Well, sniping might begin soon, though, and that's always a problem for the Night Elf. Warden's trying to look for more experience over here. Once she's out of mana, the damage is really pretty negligible. And the tanks hit the main. Remind us to react quickly.
Oh, Naga can slow down this Warden. There's not much healing. But the boots of speed, Remo, again, so good.
TP, though. Why is he not TPing?
Could
What's
also
he doing?
staff. I don't know. Going for Chimera roosts? What the hell is this game? Will be supply stuck. Is supply stuck.
Well, that was a big mistake by Remind. Like, when he started to go to the shop, that should have been the time to TP right away. Maybe he just didn't realize about the tanks for so long. They've killed 3 Moonwells now. He still should have TP'd.
That's a lot.
Oh,
yeah.
that's a big mistake by Remind.
He's
That
gonna-
hurts a lot.
He's gonna lose more, this bear. One more hit and dead. Speaking of great and amazing and everything, thank you, Raoul, for the €50 donation. Just had to think about how insanely this project has grown. The overlay is absolutely amazing by now. And thanks to contributions like this, we can even make it better in the future. Thank you, man. That is quite a surprise, but much appreciated.
Thank you very much from my side as well. So the MG is at home. I think he should just park one MG in the main, maybe.
Yeah.
It is 7 supply, that's a lot, but these tanks can keep on coming over and over. Oh, Remind was in a good position this game. But losing 3 Moonwells, that was definitely 2 more than required. He could have TP'd home right away. The Wisp heal was also very slow, but okay. He still has a strong Warden, who is very close to level 6 now. And the human is summoning more and more water elementals, which could be transformed into more experience, of course. But the tanks are coming in over and over. And if you're not that practiced anymore, this can be how to deal with the Warden. Just from the Knights, taking so much damage.
I really like the transition by this Chinese human. That was played with a lot of brain. He didn't go for the cookie cutter builds that we see all the time from TH Infantry Romantic. But he saw, okay, there's no Panda. It's only the Warden. What can she do if I go heavy tier 3? And he survived. Until then, he's putting so much pressure in the base. Now level 6, but what does it really do? I'm not too sure.
Well, some Knights here are starting to drop low, and the Pally is now completely out of mana. Warden also in trouble! The heal scroll barely saves her. The Warden movement also there isn't as crisp as we've seen before. The 2 tanks at the expansion. Man, I haven't seen tanks against Night Elf in forever. But looking very powerful here.
Of course, Chimeras are very good against the Knights and also decent against tanks. But from 2 workshops, you can go into 20 gyrocopters in no time. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. Flag cannon is already done. First gyros out. Nice counter. And the expo is down as well. Yeah, ReMinD, how do you counter this now? Knights, tanks, gyros.
I think it might be a little bit too late now. This is just, it looks like critical mass has been hit. ReMinD had the wrong read this game. He felt like, oh, I'm pressuring all the time. He has to turtle defend, and I'm just gonna tech to my super heavy tier 3 chims and stuff in the end. But he wasn't seeing the tanks coming, wasn't ready. And the tanks killed him. Tanks killing Night Elf.
Yeah, outsmarted or out-teched, out-transitioned, how do we call it? Definitely an issue of not scouting the main constantly.
Yeah, and I think there you can really see that he's not that well practiced yet. Like he doesn't have all the possible build of the opponent down. He's not thinking of all the ways he can die, which is something that normally you always have to think about. How can I lose in the next 2 minutes? How can I lose in the next 5 minutes? How can I get ready? What can I scout? When do I have to scout? And if he had played more defensively, had refrained from going to chims and had been more, been ready to deal with the tanks, could have been doable. But again, without a Panda, it's always tough. The Warden solo doesn't seem to be the end-all be-all anymore.
Yeah, there's a timer on the Warden, I guess. He had a little bit of a struggle to get her to the necessary levels. If he goes Panda, he will most likely not reach the high levels early, and then the harass doesn't work so well. It's a double-edged sword to go for a Panda, definitely. But yeah, he was totally exposed to the tanks. And with that, GG.
But he's going to have another chance here. A bit against the ropes now. We're, of course, in the lower bracket here. So there's no safety net beyond this. So one more map loss and ReMinD is out. The next game is going to be starting in just a moment. I'm also going to have Hawk versus WFZ later, of course. I hope they're not playing at the same time.
I don't think so.
And yeah, looks like you're right. Looks like they're not.
It's only lower bracket so far, what I can see in the watch.
Yeah, he tried to taunt a tank with the Mountain Giant, but that doesn't work. Because tanks can't attack units. Maybe you should add that in the next patch. Tanks can attack units as well. I mean, it's pretty weird that they can only attack buildings.
Oh yeah, tanks only against casters. Beautiful. Nah, not the best balance idea you had in the past.
No, that's that wasn't serious.
Of course
tanks are still too strong. I mean, they're not necessarily too strong, but they make for bad game experiences. That's why they should get nerfed more.
That's a good way of putting it. I'm I'm such an idiot. I was waiting for some news from the QQ group, I was just looking at that little program thingy in the bottom right, but there were no messages. Why are the Chinese so quiet today? Well, didn't log in. I'm so smart.
And my QQ doesn't work anymore.
Oh, that's
really
bad.
Annoying.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Gonna try to get over it.
But I can't log in either.
Huh. So it's not just me.
Maybe no.
Maybe no. So Light has to tell us how to fix that. Or Wong. Wong was a great help, by the way, last 2 days. It was really nice to give us updates when they were coming in. You know, guys, if you've been around here for the Open Qualifier, it's always a little bit hectic. There's games happening all over the place. There's no official grid, which is still unbelievable after like 2 years of this system. So it's always a bit of a treasure hunt, finding the results and updates. Especially now that our QQ isn't working anymore.
True, but I got the Chinese unit on the watch list. That means that I can follow him, and we have a game.
The Chinese unit? What?
Human. Did I say unit? Maybe he's a unit as well. Maybe he's super bulked.
Yeah, it's OB1, so...
Ah, you're smart. Yeah. 1 more minute and then we have it.
It's ready now, Neo. Even faster than we thought.
Wow!
Map 2. Unsurprising. It's going to be Tyrannos Stand, the Warden hometown. Anything else would be quite the surprise here, unless there's perhaps mind games going on. Is there perhaps mind games going on? Because there's an opportunity here on this map as well for the human to play a different first hero, and that is, of course, the Mountain King, who, if played well, can be looking extremely strong. Again, this is a great Warden map, but if your opponent is playing MK and you have that hard read, perhaps you want to try to hard counter that with the Demon Hunter first. We saw that previously by Lowerbracket and other Night Elves. But I doubt that this human is so well known. I doubt that ReMinD has so hard of a read, so I'm certainly expecting a Warden here once again.
And we get the MK, and we get the Warden. Sweet! We have seen games going into both directions. I'm in QQ now, by the way. We have seen a lot of Mountain King dominance, especially by TH. We've also seen great Wardens.
The Mass Gyro game.
The Mass Gyro game, yeah, absolutely. Never forget. That's cool that there's a dynamic, and you have to play according to your opponent. You have to be on the edge from like minute 2 on. You can't allow any creeps to be stolen. You can't allow the mercenaries to be stolen. You gotta hope for a good item a little bit. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there has been this interesting meta specific to Tyrannos Stand for humans in this matchup. It started off with us being dazzled by the Mass Dragonhawk play. Then that transitioned a little bit away into more tier 3 heavy knights kind of stuff. And then we saw Mass Gyro. So it's a lot of possibilities for humans nowadays on this map, especially when facing the Warden. But what it all does include is a fast expansion. MK level 3 creep, fast expansion, and then going from there.
This creep is not the best, man. For ReMinD, the Shadow Priest has already been stolen. The Fan of Knives not positioned ideally. If you look at Lawlight, he's hitting all the targets at the same time and kills them in, I don't know, 20 seconds or so. For ReMinD, it all takes a little longer. The crowd control on the creeps wasn't the greatest. Gets level 2 and an Invo Potion and more mana. It's a good outcome in the end. Yeah. Mountain King with the same items, actually.
He wasn't as fast as Lawlight is with his beautiful quad kill Fan of Knives, but he got all the experience. That's the most important thing. Getting a little bit more. There's a really juicy creep route here to go for, which is to go for Mercs early, send the Ancient of War over to the lab and creep that quickly, which is pretty popular nowadays, but ReMinD isn't doing that. He's sending the Ancient of War over to the natural, actually, to the gold mine. So he's not producing any archers, which means he really, really, really needs the next Berserker. If the human could steal the Berserker from both camps, this would be insane. but also super expensive. I guess something he can't afford. And ReMinD is looking to be aggressive instead of creeping with only level 2.
I guess it's ReMinD who steals the Shadow Priest from the Chinese side. So he has them right away with the push. Going into the main, though, doesn't want to be affected by a Stormbolt. And the main is completely open. It's wide open. Fan of Knives, no tower.
There's 3 holes in this wall. It's
Yep.
like a little weird.
The Swiss cheese human base.
In the meantime, Archer and Berserker could be creeping the gold mine. Oh, if the footy scouts this and harasses, it would be a really cool play. With 2 Berserkers, that might also be pretty fast. The Warden, if she's forced to spend a TP here to safely be able to creep her Expo and kill all these peasants, this is totally fine for her.
Schwupp, next one, level 2.5. There's another Stormbolt, so Staff is not the best option for now. She just walks away. Without new shoes, without a new staff, saves all the money for later. Oh, is that the best idea? Is that the wrong... Like, what?
Just distraction.
Huh.
Nice distraction. Perfect counterplay here by the human would be to go Telestaff on the MK, because this Warden is low mana, she really can't do much anymore. He's being distracted a lot by her, more than perhaps he should. But there was no footy in position in the south, and that means that the natural creep is basically done now. So nice distraction play, very well done by ReMinD, who's about to be hitting his level 3. Oh, here comes the staff actually. I was waiting it a little bit earlier. It comes in slightly later, but still, good play by the human. Continuing to play this pretty damn well. Gets another Berserker here, that's another big kill. The Warden in the main hits her level 3 as well, and that's gonna be level 2 fan, and of those we have 2, and suddenly this is a lot of damage.
Yep, and another fan is coming in a bit. 2 mana, hides in the shadows, and he's not moving the gold peasants. That's gonna be a slaughter. Yep. Well played by ReMinD here. Could have stayed a little longer for right clicks with the Invul Potion, but better to use it. Oh, sweet surround. Better to use it later when she has mana again. Shadow Priest falls once more. And the lores, man. I mean, there's no Archmage and Water Elemental, but the damage is still enough.
Yeah, certainly gets the 1 cancel. And this was a lot of moon juice again, by the way. Does he get the second one as well? Looks like he will. A couple of footies might be falling, but this lore is certainly cancelled. So heavy tech delays on both sides.
Yep. With all
But
the
still
kills...
no counter expansion for ReMinD.
He has the gold, but lacks the lumber at the moment. He uses more moon just to save this 1 archer. I'm not too sure if it's worth it, really.
It's his only unit, Neo. He needs to protect it.
1 more footman dead, and the... Okay, the Mountain King can't do this alone.
This
Can
Moonju
he?
situation is going to be so rough, man. He needs moonstones like crazy.
Does he even have a shop?
It is
Dude, this
coming.
Mountain King is just killing the lore! I miscalculated this a little. But alright. Expo up, shop up. Tower coming in the main. And now the counter expansion. At 7 minutes.
Yeah. And this is the level 3 counter aggression play that we've been seeing working so well. That staff usage. I think ReMinD really should have stolen the staff in the north. That should be able to prevent something like this for a long time. But he was in the main, he was slaughtering peasants, he was also doing quite a bit of damage there. Heavy investment on the Warden with the next mana potion as well, wanting perhaps to go into the peasant line once again.
But scouted, and Mountain King is here. He really wanted this archer. And gets some Mauler too. Reminded 24 supply, it's ridiculous. Fan of Knives, of course, nice, but can't go higher. Oh, sweet save. And now they're slow. Okay, blinks against it. No way. I thought he's saving it, but so much mana invested for just 1 tiny unit.
This is gonna cost him the invul probably. Slow? Oh, okay. It's a bit of a mistake. But with the Stormbolt coming in, this... Ooh, ReMinD. This will be the invul.
Okay. Invul lasts too long. Sorry for the overlay, gonna fix it.
Tech is finally coming for the human, which is, of course, tremendously late. But with the expansion for ReMinD so late as well, that should still be pretty fine. Dryads starting to come out. We do have double lowers. No second hero yet. I think this would be the best time for a Panda right now. Helps with the creeping at the moment.
Yeah.
Will, of course, slow down the Warden, but you're most likely going to need this Panda in the late game.
It doesn't really matter what he's going for. It's always going to be helpful. Tier 2 finally started, 2/3. But the Expo is, the counter expansion is still, hasn't even arrived. There's still creeps to take out. Now we have 4 Dryads. Okay, makes playing against the Mountain King a lot more doable. They can keep the Warden a little safer, but it's a decent force for more distraction and buying time for the for his own expansion, for his own tech. ReMinD uses the Tree of Life in this fight, delaying his own expansion even more.
Really nice Mud Golem control, by the way. Exposing himself not for a long time. Will die in the end, but again, this is great delay.
Ooh, triple kill. Yep. Nice. And that's level 4.
Big bank, by the way, for the human player. He could go for a quick 70 push, which might be deadly. But that is not too fashionable anymore with MK first. Nowadays, it's mostly about tier 3, which also, of course, he could easily afford. Having lost so many footies, though, is kind of awkward right now. Like, normally humans at this point want to fall back, creep the lab, get the Shredder, get the Zeppelin. With 1 MK, 1 Mauler?
And the Shredder.
Okay. And the Shredder. Okay, I guess that should work.
He can use Clap again if he wants to use all his mana. That's fine. But time for ReMinD, who's once again relying on a solo Warden for level 5. Is he just running into the same problem again that we saw on Echo Isles? He will face the Blood Mage, but tier 3 is coming and it's triple workshop. Are we sure this isn't like Romantic's younger brother?
Question is it tanks or is it gyros? It could be either.
Yeah. Especially on this map, if you build the workshops here, the distance to the Night of expansion is like non-existent. You fly across the 2 rivers and you're there. That's so easy to do. It's so fast.
Yeah, I'm really surprised he didn't go for a Zeppelin, actually. It's like normally always the standard go-to. When creeping the Merc camp, talking about the human here, of course. Alright, you need a Panda. ReMinD.
Nope, no money.
Stop doing it.
No gyros yet. Ah, damn. Oh, there's one, but I guess just for scouting.
Alright, here we go, boys. Mass tanks again. The meta is back.
Hooray! Oh, how we missed this. It does, on Terranas, create quite some cool matches, though. When the Night Elf has the option to expand multiple times.
ReMinD, he needs to scout. Where are his scouts? Where is MGs? Having 1 MG never hurts. He's with the expansion now, he can easily go into upkeep.
I think his tier 3 was a little late, so he only now goes for Master Bears. It might be a little more important that it's 1 MG that takes forever.
Players' forces are under attack.
Oh, he's late with the Moonwells as well. This is gonna be pretty late into upkeep, but there's still more time with the humans still banking, still not producing anything. Tome of Retraining on the Warden.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, didn't she just have Blink Fan? She's going Blink Fan again.
What? Did she, like, miss skill to Blink 3 or something?
Maybe. Alright, that's 300 gold down the drain. That's like, not exactly a Mountain Giant, but almost a Mountain Giant.
But finally we have some action with the Warden into economy.
I think the best thing here for ReMinD is that he's going to see triple workshop. He does have Ultra Vision, right?
Yeah. Oh no, it's in research, but I mean, he sees it anyway. Pen of Knives, anti-magic, right-click, kills. On the way to level 6 he is. And he definitely saw it now.
Alright, Mountain Giants. ReMinD, right now.
Engine of Wind is the answer for now.
Also very good to have hippos against the Zeppelin drops. But he needs some damage against the tanks.
Yeah, I mean, he has bears, but they don't cut it anymore.
Nope. 2-1 upgrades on the tanks already. He sees them super early. Low lumber is the issue here for ReMinD. He never went for the shredder. He's still in no upkeep.
Forces are under attack.
He's building double Engine of War now. Old school. Warden in the main with an avatar. Warden got to level 6. But still, 1,400 gold. Oh no, that's ReMinD. 300 gold. As knights are coming in as well.
Is she gonna die here? MK with the clap.
Yep.
Ouch.
Oh, this is
And
a
here
little
are the
painful.
tanks.
Yeah.
And there's no mountain giants. And there's no mud golem. Mud golem also very good against tanks.
2-2 upgrade almost done. And then Dryads against double armor siege engines. Yep, that's one-sided. I mean, the Echo is a little bit wrecked, but he has a shredder. He's still mining at both bases. It's just more tanks. What a warm welcome for ReMinD back into the scene.
Yeah. It looks like he just hasn't had much practice against this. He is so unready for this. These 3 tanks will be killing, as it looks like, 5 Moonwells.
Wow. 3-2 is coming. Heroes and Knights weren't even in this. Paladin third. Does Devotional work on tanks? No, right?
I don't know. I think it does. Let's see. Yep, it does.
Oh wow, +8. I mean +2, but in the end it's 8 armor. Yeah, he's not gonna kill them.
ReMinD with almost 2,000 gold, but he can't spend it because he's so supply blocked, because he wasn't ready for his Moonwells getting taken out. Always a weakness for Night Elf against tanks. That was a nice dodge with the anti-magic. Ah, the tanks are back, boys.
That's a... Oh! Killing the Pally. That's a rough way to start... to come back into competitive Warcraft again.
He got some wins yesterday at least.
Yeah.
So he's not being 0-4'd by tanks or whatever. But it's a bit of a reality check. Like, he has some work to do.
Yeah. Even with the early scout, that's a little worrying. Like, if you don't see it and if you lack scouting, okay, that's one thing, to be completely overwhelmed by a build. But to see it and then not being able to react, it's...
Yeah. And he goes, you know, for the old school stuff. Old school counter tanks was Ancients of War defensively in the base. It's not what you should do anymore. MGs are actually really good, guys. They have become pretty good. Try them out, especially when you're facing tanks. And mud golems. And yeah, this is the slow chipping away.
I wonder how much ReMinD played last month. I haven't seen his account before the reset. At the moment he's 12-1 on netties. Do you know?
I'm not. No, I'm not sure. Yeah, he needs some time to adjust to the new meta. This is not really the new meta, but like, he needs to start thinking about mountain giants. And I thought it was so cool on Echo. It was like, hey, he had an early mountain giant.
Yeah.
But not ready for defense. He's playing this warden like all out harass, like totally reckless. And that is not the way to do it anymore.
Nope. Quad kill with the clap, by the way. Very good spell. GG. ReMinD is out. Defeated by an unknown Chinese player called Guagua on God. Yikes. First yikes of the day already, Remo.
If he was to make it out of Group A, though, that would be kind of insane. Imagine this. Like, we've never heard of this guy before. And somehow, perhaps, he might make it through. But yeah, speaking of ReMinD's previous victories, he defeated Ice Orc with 2-1, which is pretty impressive, man.
Yes.
Ice Orc is a really good player nowadays.
We're both big fans of Ice Orc.
But of course, very different matchup. So, yeah. The Ward needs some refining. The scouting, the adjusting needs some refining. He needs to learn more about his power points, his power spikes, and his weaknesses. But you know, it's ReMinD, dude. Like, give him a month or two, and who knows what he's going to be doing again.
True. Everyone else will be at tournaments, I guess, so he can sit at home and get some confidence on ladder or on the smaller cups. I guess that will suit him nicely. Yeah, with that, that was the lower bracket semifinal. ReMinD out, the Chinese human advancing. He will face either Hawk or WFZ, because that's our winner bracket final. And we're gonna be back in a couple of minutes. And then we have that game for you, another best of 3. The winner goes into the round of 8 on Friday. So, see you in a bit.